Hello? Is everything alright? I mean, we're 7 minutes late, but this is our beautiful EA and Codemasters not even knowing how to do crossplay. But what I can say for definitely is that we've got 18 drivers already, 2 more are waiting for the invitations, and we should be going. And someone's just became a spectator. Okay, Sander just accidentally became a spectator. I spoiled one of the names on the grid, but what's for sure, is that we'll be racing. I mean, we have to. We've got 18 drivers on the grid. Jacob's yet to pick a team. Sander's yet to pick a team. And we're essentially waiting for everyone to hop in. It's about time, maybe. To start very soon, but still, no Federico yet, no Jeroen yet, we're still waiting on them, so the reason why there is a delay is because of crossplay. Anyway, hit the like button in the meantime. So, I guess we're starting at around 15, if we will start it. Next time, I will probably try hosting the session, because otherwise it's going to be a farce if PC is not hosting. Federico Lano's in. The session at least is loading. Yes, we got him. We just need Jeroen to ready up. And before Federico asks for a team, I'm just going to make a W letter so he knows instantly. And we only need one more name on the grid. "11 minutes passed. It's now on friends only, the session, but it doesn't mean you can join without being signed up to Ero F1. And we've got Jeroen in, confirmed, ready up. So you had to wait 11 more minutes, but it's here. Like, we had to wait additional 11 minutes, yet somehow we made it work. Connections are usually yellow, we'll see how it works during the session. However, after 11 minutes late, being 11 minutes late, we're back to Ero Racing. We're back to the home of League Racing. We're back to the actual pinnacle of League Racing, and nobody can tell me that All League is a pinnacle of League Racing. Thank you very much for listening to my TED Talk. Because in this particular moment, at 6:12 British time, or if you're in Central Europe like me, 19:12, we will race again in Ero. Can't believe it's season 8 is actually starting, because if you're wondering, I actually had plans to solve Ero after season 7, and we're doing season 8, and we'll do season 9 and season 10. As long as the machine will go, I'll be here. I mean, as long as they'll be here, the machine will go, which is until my retirement. Anyway, it's time to start. It's time to start. Ero Ps F1 British Grand Prix drivers are still picking tires, and we'll see if this is finally the time when we actually go ahead with 50% race around Britain with 26 laps around Circuit of Silverstone. We should be going. I see the loading is complete. It is. So maybe it is time for me to introduce you to Ero Ps F1's Season 8. And as you can see, somehow I got those custom banners of sponsors around the circuit. You can see JR Design, you can see Boldmania, you can see my own of Ero with a couple of drivers. This is officially working. Crossplay is working badly, but it's working. Already Mercedes drivers are going out on the track, and as I can see, it's a bit cloudy, not like cloudy fully, but I can see like this partially sunny thing. We'll also see if the sound settings are working as of now, because PSF1 is officially starting. If you're wondering why there's those PlayStation signs next to the drivers, the reason is I'm actually commentating on from PC. Wojciech Śmigowski here, the owner of Ero, the founder of Ero. We've also got some random guy joining. I don't know who that is, but he'll definitely not race. It's time for us to begin Ero Season 8 with a couple of new names on the board and the grid. I also can smell. I can smell that clouds are getting bigger and darker. But maybe we'll just go through the entire grid at the very beginning. So starting with Mercedes, you know Adrian Welland. He's been racing here since season 1. He missed 3 races during his entire Ero career, and he's been here since day 1. He's still there. His goal is obvious. It's to get the championship of Ero F1 naturally. Before the crossplay comes out to end, we've got Drake back in season 9. It's not confirmed, but we can have hope. He's currently warming up his tires. Ahead of him on the track is Guillaume Darunia, who's back. The season 6 champion is back into the Ero grid after like half a season's break. We've made a social media post. The social media links are in the description. And about Guil, he's back into Ero F1 as well. He also didn't have to do trials because he, despite racing half a season, he still got third. Next up, we'll go with Red Bulls, who have 2 drivers from the Relentless team or something like this. I'm not aware of these teams at all, I'll be honest with you. But Joshua Evans, Jero and Visser will be partnering this season. Joshua has raced last season and got into top 8. As usual, he barely got it, like 76 points. And a point ahead of Stinavis as far as I'm aware. And Jero is a fully debuted driver starting a lap right now. Next up, we're having Ferraris, who I heard are having Grande Strategias yet again. Who had actually Grande Strategias yet again back in Belgium a couple of hours ago. However, Kalle Pulkinen and Liam Cross stay together as teammates, this time in a new team. They will be racing, just adjusting something. They will be racing in a Ferrari, so they've got promoted from Alfa Romeo's like academy seats to a full Ferrari seat. And we'll see how they will handle this. Who's next? Next is McLaren, with Leon Baumgarten promoted straight up from F4, mainly because due to no assists, and his teammate, Raya King, who's belonging to Talent Factory team as far as I'm aware. He's probably invalidated this lap because I've seen him going. No, he didn't invalidate. But Raya is a full debut driver, but also a title favorite. Like one of the many contenders. Then we've got Alpine with Ludwig Stahlberg, another driver promoted from F4 tier, and his teammate is going to be a debut driver of Sander van Brakel. Leon has finished in top 10 in F4 last season, He's got plenty of pole positions, like 4 in a row in that tier. But race pace didn't go well always. Like, it didn't go well. And that was definitely a track extension from Sander van Brakel. But speaking about Ludwig, he's done 4 pole positions in a row. He's now setting up a lap of 28.6, and he's going to race in Alpine in F1 this season. Who's next? Next team, well, let's say Alpha Tauri with Jacob Tucker, who's having a pretty amazing road to glory story. He started in F5, started with a couple of crashes, then nearly got the title, but remember what happened in Brazil in lap 23 in F5 tier, then got straight into F3. Then they fought very well for the top results, not the championship, but we could say top 5. Then as a reserve in F1, he's got a podium in his debut in Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Now he has a seat as a full-time driver in his favorite Alpha Tauri. His teammate is going to be Mats Terhart, currently 11th on the grid as of now, with 28.8. He's been in different tiers in his Ero career, mainly he's associated with F3, now he's getting a chance in F1. He's been in F3 last season as well. After Alpha Tauri, we'll go to Aston Martin. They usually have 2 Finns of Faustas Nauseda and Emil Virtanen, but they both cannot race today, so they have been replaced by reserves of Selahattin Sarikaya, who you may know well from lower tiers of Season 4 and Season 5, and a couple of Ero F1 races in Season 6. He's racing no assists, like, since a long time. His teammate is going to be Stinavis, who's been in F1 last season for like half a season, nearly got to the top 8 and guaranteed seat with 75 points. However, he missed by 1 point. He was racing with line back then, but knowing his pace without line, you can see he's actually going, despite this lap being invited, this is going very well for him with the pace overall. 3.8 on the 62 mark, and he's going to be a reserve this season. We've got 3 teams left. One of them is Williams with Federico Olano as a reserve. Usually there would be Christian Rotation, but he's got a wheel issue, and this is why he's not racing, unfortunately, today. And his teammate, this is actually pretty interesting, Diogo Moraes, has switched sides from Haas to Williams, and the Season 7 champion is going to defend his title in a Mercedes-powered car. He's currently 5th and qualifying, right behind Jero and Visa, and he shows his good pace for the season. Now into Alfa Romeos, the second last team of 2021 Constructors Championship. The team that had Kalle Pulkkinen and Liam Cross racing in Season 7 now has 2 good friends of Michele Engelian and the one who we watch now, Cibugan Fuma. They have been racing in Mercedes last season, both doing top 8 results with a couple of podiums each. Now they are switching sides to Alfa Romeo, because that was Cibugan's preference. And the last team is going to be Haas, with a driver this time promoted straight up from F5, and his name is Adrian Welland. He's actually the first Norwegian driver to race in F1 as far as I'm aware. And his teammate for this season is the one who you may know well. He's been a league's veteran since Season 2, or even Season 1. He participated in Russian Grand Prix in Season 1 where he DNF'd in lap 1. But Hasan Akça is back into F1. He's been in F2 last season. He was meant to be F1 as well, but at the end when Naupel Lemunci joined, and then you remember that crash between him and Marco Bota in Brazil, he switched into F2 as soon as he got noticed, as soon as he got known that Naupel is joining the league. He still didn't last long because of 2 races. But Hasan is lasting. He's still here. He is here, and he's ready to challenge PSF1 yet again. So that's the entire grid for Season 8 of Ero. Currently, the front row is what Mercedes fans would love to see, with Aurélien Le Penroux and Guillaume Darunia both on just hopping onto their hot laps, but still they're in front row. They have a front row lockout. They are going to improve their lap times even further, can also see with this season we've got a couple of changes because we have crossplay on, and the reason is that I moved to PC with this game. There is a couple of reasons, especially crossplay, which doesn't work as intended. But from what I can see, it works as of now. Also, what you can see is that I changed a couple of things around the track. You can see there is no Pirellis, no DHLs, nothing like this. We've got Discord, we've got JR Design, Polynomania, Grid Finder, Ero. We've actually got sponsor buttons because it's pretty simple to do. As long as you're on PC, you can mod the game as much as you want. And I did it with a bit of help from the other league called Soul, because they are the ones I inspired these designs from. I mean, not designs, but this mode. And here's how I got it. Adrian Welland is currently 2 turns faster with 8 minutes to go in qualifying, currently setting up himself for a 26.7, maybe 6. And he might be challenging for pole position again to start the season very well. His big dream is to win the championship in Ero, which he was close plenty of times, and many times he wasn't close enough. Now he's ready to cross the line. Maybe he'll get the first point right now. He's going for pole position. Gul has done a lap ahead of him with 7.96. Axe, as I said, is done 6.10. And also we have to mention one thing, because you might think that Aurelian and Guillaume are good friends. Yes, they are good friends. But there's one thing we need to mention. These two drivers have already declared they will not make any team orders. They are full on fighting. And considering the fact they're in Mercedes, I have flashbacks from 2016. I mean, nothing happened yet. But the fact they're fighting for the pole position, and Raya King, who's currently in the pits, or actually entering the pits, is fighting for P3 at best, with, by the way, Red Bull's having both equal lap times. Makes it very interesting for the season. Makes it very interesting, this Mercedes fight. Alfa Romeo's, well, Śmigowski has to make a better lap time, as he's currently entering Sector 2, currently Wellington Straight still, but it will be Sector 2 soon. Within the Wellington Straight as well. He's at 10 faster, but he might have abandoned his lap somewhere else. And I assume it might have been around Cops, which has seen plenty of history of Formula 1 with a wonderful move made by Alexander Albon and Kimi Räikkönen in 2020. I'm avoiding that incident that happened on purpose. Also, I forgot to make you... also, I forgot to create a poll. I forgot to make a poll with your predictions who is going to win today's Ero F1 Grand Prix. But you can write it in the chat just to raise up the activity, hit the like button, subscribe, and so on. And your new lap times on the board. Evans is currently in Sector 3, but we're following Śmigowski, who's closer to finishing his lap. Also, you can just advertise this link to everyone. Why not? As Śmigowski is now crossing the line after the final chicane, and he's got a 27.5, placing him in P9. Liam Krosko is not expected to be that high in terms of to be fighting for something in this division this season, due to being kind of new to no assists. It's actually doing 27.597 and placing himself in P10, ahead of Jacob Tucker or Ludwig Stahlberg. Adrian Welland has improved himself to 28.0, placing him still on P14, so no promotions. Both Alfa Romeo drivers have just completed their lap times. They are on their in-laps. And how about Steinavis? He's doing 27.8. I mean, this grid, from P1 to P12, 13 might be pretty equal. There's, for example, Federico Lano, who's usually a racing line racer. He's using line as an assist, but he cannot use this assist in this tier. So he has to settle with no line. At least free practice for him, even if he finishes P20. Sander van Brakel has invited his lap time, even though he's going 2 tenths faster. He's probably checking what kind of delta he can make. And he would place himself just ahead of Hasan Akçak. Also, Sarkar, did you just spin? Might have. Nearly everyone is in the pits right now. Adrian Welland with very little lap time. Maybe I just take my phone and see the Silverstone corners names. Maybe I just do it on PC. Yes, I cannot remember corner names. Thanks for asking. I mean, there is Copes, there is Wellington Strait and stuff, but just to make sure. Abbey Farm, Village, The Loop, Aintree, Brooklands, Lafayette, Woodcote, Copse, Beckett, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, Stowe, Vale, Club. Okay, I have to remember the last colonist Club. What is your face doing there? I pasted it. Also, sorry Kaya, that was great interpretation of pit limit speed. Basically I just placed a couple of chats on the pit lane, as you can see. Probably I'm not a chat, so I'm not there. That's your opinion. Federico Lano and Leon Baumgarten and Michael Engelian with Liam Cross currently on their outlaps. Mr. Mercedes and Alpine are going out because this is the final moment to make a qualifying lap. Had to go for a moment. This is why you have seen the pause menu. Also, let me know in the chat if everything is alright with the sound and stuff. Just to make sure. I've tested it earlier today. Only Yoni and only Foss and Milmas have watched it. So, not a great news. Hello everyone in the chat. I'm also wondering where Maxim Rodriguez is, because I can see in the chat before the final round of qualifying. Well, Maxim Rodriguez indeed has signed up to Season 8, but unfortunately told myself that his connection is not there yet. If we went full into roleplay, we would say wheel simulator issue, or like simulator issue, which make him not able to practice. It's like permanent issue, and this is pretty expensive stuff. But just to be honest, well, internet connection is issue still. He still made his performance in 2007 in Italian Grand Prix. And ended up with a DNF, I mean, but still. How about Baumgarten and Tolano, who have started the final qualifying runs? As we're now through Village and the Loop and then entry corners, then into the Wellington Strait. Not like I was just doing checks, but Leon Baumgarten will see his qualifying lap time. A couple more drivers have already started the laps, but McLaren is going to be the first one to cross the line, or Williams apparently. But just to remind you, Leon Baumgarten is still without a lap. Still without a lap time. He would start last if he will start last if he doesn't set a lap time now. Also, speaking about PC F1 race, I mean, I'm afraid there will be something in lap 1 in this one as well, because at PC F1, a guy actually tried to dive into turn 1. It's the full speed corners, there's an issue, big issue from Leon Baumgarten, which makes him abandon the lap. Speaking of Volano, he's currently approaching the final sector. Can he make better of his lap time? I mean, his line isn't too bad without line. He can go without it fully. He's very cautious on the throttle into club, and he puts himself in P11 with 27.7. That's a pretty decent qualifying lap time. Next to end up a lap is an Alfa Romeo of Michael Engelian, who's crossed the line. He improves himself, but not enough to even outscore Diogo Moraes. Then a Ferrari with Liam Cross without an improvement. Ludwig Stahlberg into the final corner. And he's entering club. As I can see, one of the Hasses, Hassan Akça, has retired from the session by entering the pit line, as Ludwig Stahlberg goes P11. Raya King now to finish the lap. He's a 10th fast in sector 2. He just confirms himself in the P3. How about Mercedes? Because Guillaume Darunia has a chance to take pole position, because Aurélien Lepenroux has retired from the session in the pit lane. So Guillaume can take that one pole position point. And can he make it? With the final corner, he crosses the line and he makes the pole with 26.534. Well, the gap between Mercedes and the rest of the grid is is pretty huge. Then we've got 2 Red Bulls of Jaron Visser and Josh Evans having equal lap times. And Josh is definitely not going to improve. We can see him going to the pits. How about Jeroen? He's gone a little bit wide, but still kept it within track limits. Now, can he make a better lap time? No. He's done 27.6, placing him still on P4. Diogo Moraes outscores him by a single millisecond and gets himself into 4th place. How about Wojciech Fuma, who's letting his teammate pass? And that was AI. So I'm not sure what happened there. Long Baumgartner, it validates, but maybe we'll see how is his lap time going to be. 21.051 with a 110 of loss. So that's the end of the qualifying for the first Ero Ps F1 season. And as I can see, it's very interesting with Goyle and Axe actually outscoring the rest of the grid. A great overtake through Vale, no, through Abbey. I cannot remember these corners. Great overtake through Abbey by Wojciech Fuma. Actually, he's AI, but maybe let's check up the grid. As no grid penalties. Guillaume Darunia starts from P1. Then you've got Aren Lepenru, Raya King, Diogo Moraes, Jeroen Visse, Josh Evans, Michael Engelian, Stein Aves, Kalle Pulkinen, and Wojciech Fuma. This is the top 10. However, with the tire change rules in 2022, they don't have to put those softs on, so they can start on any tire they want. Then we've got Liam Cross, Ludwig Stahlberg, Federico Lano as an F2 reserve. He's doing pretty impressive job with the P13 for Williams. Then we've got 12 Ataris of Jacob Tucker and Mats de Hart. Serhatin Sarekaya has placed himself in P16. Adrian Welland P17, Sander van Brakel, Hassan Akça, and Leo Baumgartner rounds out the grip. And that's it for Ero Ps F1 in qualifying session. Now it's time for the race, as long as I get the notification that we're going. Which we are going to wait a bit for. I think. I mean, I cannot click advance because I'm a spectator. And that's what worries me. Just a quick social media post on Facebook. The timer is indeed going. I might have found the solution. Is that related to PS5? I mean, it might be. As we're about to start the British Grand Prix fully. Formation lap should be on, but I'm not surprised if it's off because of the bag that makes tires being 70 degrees. Now it's gone from only host having warm tires to random drivers have warm tires. PCF1 has reported that only half of the grid actually got like warm tires, the second half didn't. And we'll see if this is true as well here. As drivers are picking up their strategies, and we'll see who has done what choice, what kind of choice. Drivers have not picked their... okay, someone has already picked their strategy, which means we'll be going pretty soon. The reason why do you see so many pauses is because I'm just switching sides on my second screen. So maybe I'll just do this. We'll make the chat on the upper half just before the race, and the stream package will be on the bottom half. Okay, it's going. So yeah, everything's set, and we'll see. We're probably having formation lap. Yes, it is a formation lap. So now we'll see how is the tires going. What are the strategies, by the way? Because I can already see Guillaume Darnier is on hard, and both of the Mercedes drivers are on hard tires. Same applies to Red Bull, and actually top 6. Well, because we've got new tire regulations, which will allow you to start on any tire you want, you will not likely see drivers on softs, unless they have to attack for the championship. Like Goyle and Axa in the second half of the season. I watched their clip on Twitter, where they got like practice session a day before, like yesterday. They've got a practice session that they were full on fighting, like it just ended up on the spin, but so many squeezing and stuff. This might blow up things around here. Ludwig Stahlberg already disqualified from Formation Lap. I also don't know why this Discord sign is glitching. But this is not my no issue, this is game's issue. Not like I was touching the game files. How about the rest of the strategies, because we've gone into top 6. Michael, Stein, Kalle with mediums, same as Liam Cross, Chibuku Chipuma Hearts. Same applies to Ludwig Stahlberg. Medium runners, other medium runners are Olano, Terhart and Welland. There's other critical hearts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medium runners, 13 hand runners. Simple as that. And we're about to start the British Grand Prix. Couple more changes to my second screen, and we'll be going with PS F1 at the very moment. Both of the Mercedes drivers are on hard tires. The only way I can recognize them is between the numbers when I hide this interface with all the stuff, with names and track map. This is definitely going to be an exciting season. I can feel the excitement for the first time in a long time. I wasn't excited before Season 7. I was kind of excited before Season 6, but it went badly at the end. Season 5 was actually kind of decent in F1, not decent in other tiers. Season 2, maybe. I mean, this might be the best season in racing history. It all depends on us and drivers. It all depends on everyone. Everyone is just getting disqualified. Maybe just full drivers. But it doesn't change the fact we're just ahead of starting Season 8. As the lights are going to be out on a very short notice. It's 5 red lights, and we're waiting for the lights to come out. They are out, and we risk there is a pretty good start from one of the Red Bulls. This might be a jump start. He takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. The Williams are already causing an incident, and that's Diogo Moraes with a big crash. We're already causing like 3 people to retire. So Mercedes and Diogo Moraes have already decided to make a big thing out of this championship fight. 3 drivers are technically out. I mean, both of the Mercedes are probably having no front wing, but Diogo has got such a great getaway, and they probably didn't see Diogo, who's gone without any damage. Yes, he's actually clean. Jeroen, who didn't jump start, is now dropping places due to being disconnected for whatever reason. Steinav is with a great start in the 4th place. Ray King may use that for fighting for the 2nd place at least, but if this is under investigation, it must be as soon as possible. How about Jeroen? He's still dropping places. He might be out of the points before he rejoins. He rejoined now in P6. So not a big loss, but Mercedes drivers, I mean, Axe might have no wing damage. He's already ahead of Hasan Akça, but Kurik is without his front wing. Not a great start to the championship he wanted to fight for. And the fact that Diogo Moraes has no damage. Michael Engel is already out of the session. Unlucky start for him. I mean, he couldn't avoid the carnage. I will see the replay after the race, because that was loads of stuff going on here. Jeroen Visser leaves the session yet again. I mean, just pure disconnections. Chibukem is pushed out of the track by Liam Cross. They are side by side into Abbey, and the Ferrari is going to come up in front. No, they are still side by side, and Federico Lano might join this battle as well, and he spun Chibukem out. There's loads of stuff going on here. These are the first laps of racing, so we might understand drivers as they are just out of the... they are not used to racing now. I mean, Mikael, if you can check the chat and see if anything's happening, but still, this was a very bad start for Alfa Romeo. Just doing a real-life resemblance, but without racing on top of, having wheels at the top. Being upside down, apparently. Stina is at P4, that's actually impressive. Aaron already with a record drive into P13 he is, and he might be going for Leon Baumgartner, pretty soon the Mercedes driver. He might be recovering himself in this championship battle. As I can see, drivers are just going through Maggots and Beckett. Steinavis is spinning round. Yes, he's spun round indeed. Will come back on track out of the points. as Federico Lano overtakes Chibucam as well. Stein. We are after 2 laps of racing. Diogo Moraes enters lap 3 on the lead after smartly eliminating both Mercedes cars. King is already out of DRS, yellow flags in sector 3, which is main Hamilton straight, and they are caused by Serhatin Sarikaya just ahead of Federico Olano. Nearly spinning ground yet again, just letting 2 drivers by, not causing any trouble. Guillaume Darigny on soft tires will probably try to get the fastest lap and hope for a safety car. But with this start, I mean, there are reports of lagging, but I mean, on my side everything was fine. So we need to clarify that on the YouTube chat. As Michael and Gillian, if you're watching this, can you send me the point of view that you had? There is yellow flags in sector 1 and 2 on Brookland, caused by Serhatin Sarikaya's another spin. Le Pen is already P11, but I think he's going to get P10 pretty soon with overtaking Clone Baumgarten and Kalepukin with the first time penalty of the season. 3 seconds into his time. And we'll see if Romain Le Pen can recover himself from this very abysmal start, I'll be honest, as Leon and Sander are fighting each other for position number 9. Leon looks for the space on the outside, and there was very little of it. He still makes the move down with a contact, which is used by Le Pen, who's about to make a through goes move. He nearly... Oh, there's a spin as well of Adrian Welland. But Le Pen has done a move on 2 people, 2 into 1. I think he's been a little bit pushed off track, and this penalty might be as well cancelled, unless he serves it into the pits. As long as he's got the penalty, of course. Jero and Visser back fully, chasing down Liam Cross, who's probably going to do a job to stop him. Because Kalle Pulkinen... Oh, there's a spin of a Williams, and that's Federico Olano. But Liam Cross might help Jero heavily. I hope Ferrari strategies in-game are better than the ones in real life. And they will actually say, Liam, you have to defend from Jero, and the gap between you and Kalle is already big. Myself a Ferrari fan, also roots for every single driver. There is yellow flags, but these are caused by Serhatin Sarikaya retiring session. Will already regains quite a lot of time to Adrian Welland. Still on the last place, thankfully doesn't have to retire. As we... Did everyone watch Belgian Grand Prix in real life, like the real F1? I mean, you might know what I'm talking about, lap 1 collision between Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, which caused Hamilton to retire. Sorry for any spoilers, but I assume everyone has watched it since everyone here is a Formula 1 fan. But speaking of which, Hamilton-Fernando Alonso collision just put Hamilton into the DNF. Girl, as the difference is still going, he still got crashed out by a blue car. And his teammate as well. As of now, Jeroen is about to make a move on Liam Cross. He's having that DRS. Liam has plenty of DRS, but it doesn't matter. Jeroen used all of it, and he's got ahead of the Ferrari. King and Diogo Moraes peacefully on P1 and P2. Behind them, Kalle Pukin and Josh Evans fighting for P3, the final podium spot. Just remember, Kalle still with that time penalty. As Kalle looks like he's got a pretty poor exit out of Cops. You can go faster around here even on the medium tires, but he's still within the DRS. He's still like 2 tenths away from Josh Evans, and they both can see King probably struggling a little bit. He's still losing to Diogo Moraes, and maybe even losing to Josh Evans. The gap between Diogo and Raya is 1.7, and the gap between Raya and Josh is 1.7. Kalle decides to stay behind Josh comfortably. And I wonder who's got the fastest lap, by the way. It's still Raya. He's already losing 2 seconds to Diogo. He's just on another level, Diogo Moraes. But I think with that, what we have seen on start, there might be penalties going out. And a lot of penalties. Adrian Welland makes a move on Jacob Tucker for position number 8. Pretty easy one after club on the Hamilton straight. Now his next goal is to get into P7. AlphaTauri ahead of him. If he regains with this pace, he might be fighting for something in this race. Maybe even a win. But we'll see. He's about to make a move on the AlphaTauri. That was easy. Job done. Now give me Liam, who's still around a second behind Jero and Wojciech. Navis makes a move on Hassan Akça, still as well recovering himself after a spin on lap 2. Guillaume Darunia with the fastest lap of this race. He probably heard me speaking that Raya had 1 point for this. Not a great start to the season, I'll be honest. A couple of drivers ranking comfortably in second place. We'll see, fighting for P3 as of now. Skalpukin makes a move on Josh Evans. Easy P3 for him. But can Josh Evans fight back? No, he'll probably stay within his DRS. Śmigowski makes a move on Ludwig Stahlberg. And that's for position number 12. As Adrian Welland makes a move on Federico Olano. Federico Olano might think of a move down the inside. Position number 16, yes, he goes, but around the outside of the Haas driver. Failed to complete this overtake, but still, that was a pretty bold drive. I see how much time Gurl is regaining, but he's regaining around a second per lap. Not enough to fight for points today, though. He might be just collecting data for the next races. I would save the engine if I was you guys. So still making P6. Lewis Hamilton in Spain. As Navis Hassan Akça, there's a battle between these two. Actually, an easy overtake made by the Haas. Also, let me try something. Yeah, I just found out something new. And it's called that if I use a number like shift 1, I'm P11. I'm on P11, so we'll be watching the battle of the P11 because Śmigowski is close to the second Alpine of Sander van Brakel. He might be going for a move around the second straight, second DRS zone. Actually, Ludwig Stahlberg is closer to Ćmigowski than Ćmigowski is to Sander. He's still regained around 0.3 of a second. Which is enough to think of a move on the next DRS zone, but he still has to watch out for an Alpine of Ludwig Stahlberg. Also, Hassan Akça, I have seen him side by side with Stein Avis, and Stein Avis is going to force the move down the inside of the Turkish driver and makes it into P14. A very clean one. Kalpukin is actually slowly regaining on Raya King on the second place. Federico Olano with a 3-second time penalty. How about Ćmigowski as Sander has gone wide? He's gone with sideways with that wrong line, and he's been overtaken even for the DRS detection, not the detection point, but the DRS activation zone. Śmigowski easily on P11. Leon Baumgarten still behind the AlphaTauris of Mats de Haat and Jacob Tucker, who both are on the fight for 8th place. They are probably just keeping it together, working it around, making sure it's safe. But if Ćmigowski and Ćmigowski closing kind of quickly, it might be the other story. Home track of Ćmigowski, but also it's a home track for Jacob Tucker, who flies past Mats de Haat. Probably they just did some team orders, and he's on P8. He can't change down Le Pen though. Can Mats make with no? And that's why we'll go to Le Pen 4 tenths away from the DRS of Liam Cross, which he might get pretty soon. He's touching the gravel on the entry of Abbey. As Sander van Brakel gets a 3-second time penalty. I think Aurelian will get onto the DRS on the next DRS zone, as Leon Baumgarten a moment around here. tried to overtake Mats Hart, failed to do so and lost the place, and he's back into 10th. As Leon has left the session. I mean, he's disconnected. As now everyone's overtaking the McLaren. Chibuykem is now into points paying position with 10th. And Harold, lap 9 we have. We've got lap 9 of this race. Josh Evans still behind Caleb Lukinen within his DRS. No driver is coming in as of now. As we're entering lap 10. Already 10 laps have been done. Kilometer Runia is 27.3, 27.4 behind Federico Lano. How is Federico going faster than Gui on these corners? It might be down to tyre wear, but Federico isn't that bad with no assist. As Mats Hart with a physical time penalty. Josh Evans opening up his DRS just to close down on Caleb Lukinen, no need to make a move when you're 7 tenths down. Lepenroof completes the move on Liam Cross ahead of the DRS straight. He's done it before the Wellington. Can I be honest with you all? And it's quite a kind of quiet moment of the race. I'll be honest, I thought that we'll have an incident between title contenders and cops rather than before turn 1. But Michael Engelin probably gets memories of season 6, flashbacks when he also crashed on lap 1 at the start of the season, but in F2 tier. Hassan Akçay ahead of Leon Baumgartner, but that's a formality because Leon is disconnected. Liam Gross actually has DRS on Lepenner, but I don't think he's going to attack the Mercedes driver. As he's closing down, but not enough to even think about the move. Adrian Welland with 3 second penalty for multiple warnings. And the Alpines swap places. I mean, there might be no team orders between them, but they are just keeping it clean and it's fine. I'll see how it is after round 1 of pit stop. The situation of Guillaume Darunia, pretty cool. 28.8 loss. I mean, he's probably... What was that? Goyle, come on. What have you tried? Snowmagotten is back in the session. Federico Lano goes into the pits. There's no fighting around. Apart from the midfield, which we might have watched, as there's a spin of Sander van Brakel. He's rejoining on track. I hope the game doesn't disqualify him. He's rejoining behind Adrian Welland on position number 16. Django Chukuma now is definitely thinking of a move on Master Hart. He's very, very close to the Alfa Tauri, but he also has to watch out for the Alpine. Guillaume might have a puncture, I'll be honest with you. And it's the right front tire, as far as I'm aware. As you can see it behaving weirdly. Leon Baumgartner leaves the session yet again. This is pure disconnection as Chibuka was side by side with Mats Hart in cops. There's a spin in sector 1 and that's Federico Olano. Guillaume goes to the pit. Now he might get lapped by Diogo Moraes. As now he's making a move on Chibuka. And he's up in, and well, Chibuka is into P9 as Master Hart goes to the pits. Just lost, got a bit lost in this action. Stinavis is also promoted because of Mats pitting. He nearly spins down in this one, he saved it though. But going into the action up front, Red Bulls are basically traveling on P4 and P5. This race has gone pretty quiet, I'll be honest with you. The thing that we might keep an eye on is the midfield fight and Alain Lepenroux lapping his teammate. As that's a spin of Steinavis. He's back on track on the 12th place. He's going to lose position to Leon Baumgartner, who's an AI. But this AI is going to be overtaken in a short notice, I feel like. Chibukem is now chasing down Jacob Tucker. Now this is the action we can watch. As Ludwig Stolberg is right behind Chibukem as well. Chibukem has no DRS. Ludwig may use it to overtake Chibukem Chukuma and to stow. He does not. He's very, very close to him. May think of a move on the next corner and to Vale as Liam Cross goes into the pits. Zero and Vissa gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But speaking of good, because we can see he's still right behind Axa. He's probably just finishing this race for the pure sake of pole position and fastest lap point. I feel like he's going to do it. Has an actual 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Multiple drivers going to the pits. Adrian Welland and Steen Aves are copying Liam Cross. Lombard Goddard still with issues of joining. Rejoining the car. As of now, Chibukem is definitely inside of the RS of Jacob. I mean, he was just out of it, now he's in. With a gap of around 7/10. But Ludwig still feels like he's closer. Axa has regained 0.3 of a second to the Red Bulls. Now it's 0.2 since the last time I checked on his gap. Yellow flags are caused by Adrian Welland in Sector 1. He's back on track safely though. He's got more spins. Oh, come on. That's Kirill Darunia. Probably not even caring about his pole position point right now. Okay. I've seen this somewhere. This is not a crash on purpose. Because I've seen this glitch in PC F1 tier. Where once you turn on AI and want to retire from the session, you just, your AI just decides to turn to the barrier. Now we're probably having the same situation because Kirill Darunia is out of the session, calling out the safety car while being clapped. And this race might get interesting now. Because Diogo Moraes has been on the safe lead. Probably Ryan King trying to pull the Delta. Which is ridiculous at times in this game. Ray is actually going to have his race saved because he was like peaceful P2. He didn't have to fight for anything. Now he has a chance to fight for a victory. Now Diogo Moraes is slowing down. For Federico Lano is into the pit, not into the pits, but rejoined the session. How about Steen Avis? He's P16 and goes into the pits. I'm afraid he might be lap unless Diogo Moraes goes to the pits. And he's going for the medium tires. Same probably applies to Raya King, Kalle Pukinen, and both Red Bulls. How about Aurélien Lepenroux? He's joining the pits as well. So now he's changing into the medium tires as well. Jacob Tucker, how about him? He also comes in. I mean, there will be no point of staying out on hard tires, or actually any tires. Where's the tire menu? Here. So Ray and Diogo are both on mediums. And Kalle is on hard. How about the rest? The Red Bulls, mediums, Aurélien mediums, race saved. Jacob, Chibukem and Ludwig Stahlberg, but all on the way probably to pick medium tires. How about Hasan Akça, who's in the pits, right? Baumgarten stays out, or actually his AI stays out. No, he stays out by himself. Next you've got Liam Cruz, who's just gone into the pit lane. It's probably a bit mad at himself because... Oh! We've got a spin! We've got a spin of Kalle Pulkkinen. Doing the safety car. Can make this race pretty interesting. I'm not checking the time penalties though. You can see who's got the time penalties. lap 15 and Kalle is losing a position all by himself. Nobody has even touched him. Also, why all these random people are joining the session? I'm just wondering if Sander is back. I've also seen Steen disconnecting. He's back as well. Federico Lano is just rejoining. Adrian Welland is back. Mats is in as well. Everyone should be fine. These two have had to stop due to deltas. This is actually ridiculous with this game. Big Codemasters, if you're seeing this, this is all because of the broken deltas, not because of the drivers. They just have deltas out of nowhere, and we might think of turning off the safety car due to whatever is happening around here. Drivers are back into the correct places, but as you can see, someone's German is getting weird deltas. We're turning off the safety car for the next races. If this isn't fixed, drivers are going off track just to try to not get a drive-through penalty. This might be a red flag situation as well, and we're doing a 25% race or a medium sprint. You can see this is actually ridiculous. Also, I mean, we might red flag it as well. If the queue isn't back, then we're restarting the session. I mean, we might restart the session even now. Because for some reason, I mean, if it doesn't fix now, we're doing a long sprint. Jacob Tucker is now into P16, allegedly. And we're calling out the red flag situation, because this is actually ridiculous. So, it's confirmed. I can just pause you a bit. Big red flag. Yep. The session has disconnected me as well. So you can see how bad this has gone. I mean, I'm back into the session for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I cannot follow the session. We're doing a red flag situation. And this isn't PlayStation bad. So, well, this is an absolute farce of a game. I'll be honest with you. The fact we're still racing on it, the only reason for it is that it's popular. Otherwise, we would be going on Assetto Corsa or stuff if everyone's got it. I don't even know how many penalties will be, but we're probably going to make them gone. As you can see, I'm going to rejoin the session of Jacob Tucker if there's any. I'm doing a maintenance screen. We'll do sprint. I don't know which size yet. We'll see how many laps each is. update for you remaining on the stream. We're setting up a lobby. We're setting up a new lobby with a long sprint with no safety cars, because you could see how safety cars are messed up in this game. Next week I will not be commentating. Probably I'll just switch into PC F1 if there's a possibility. However, it will be Luke Jobson commentating next week, because he already told me he can. As of now, of course, because there's still a week's time. However, crossplay will be off next week. So we'll be back shortly. As you can see, the lobby is going. We're waiting on Jacob, with whom I'm in the voice chat. You can say hello to the viewers.
Hello all. Please buy this game. It's an amazing game.
Yes. 10 out of 10. Well, I'm actually doing a complaint
Yep, would recommend.
about that, because we tried crossplay only due to myself commentating. I mean, I'll be honest with that. There is no one to commentate on a regular basis unless you want and sign up for a helper, sign up in Discord server. However,
Who else is
Cameron
missing?
can commentate at times, but not today because, well, he's sick. We somehow have to make it, and I'll be commentating. Maybe next season with crossplay will be like full on crossplay will be going properly, or maybe it just needs a PC host. We'll see. Drivers are just joining the session.
Yeah, I'm missing 3 drivers. Can you, what is that being sent?
Who?
I think I'm
So, we're back in. Well, I'm just telling drivers to ready up. Don't forget about setups. We are only doing a 9-lap sprint race. All penalties are vanished, given by game. And good luck. We will have a chat about it on Talking VC later. It needs to have an end. And unfortunately, Maxim, well, he didn't start this race, so he can't just hop in mid-session. And we've also turned off confirmation lap, and as you can see, okay, it's working. Okay, we're back in after an absolute farce of a safety car. We're just seeing that crossplay is not working. We'll maybe experiment it during the week. If it doesn't work during the week, we will just make Luke commentate and I will not join. Fantastic stuff. I should have borrowed the game from Nestek. It is 9-lap sprint indeed, and this will count to the championship. We're doing grid order based on the moment Gil Darunia has crashed out. And if it doesn't work again, we're just suspending it with half points. How can you release a game without working crossplay? I have a feeling the Weimer's boys are cursed. I think too. Okay, Axe is back into the session, but he will have to settle for whatever the kind of tires the rest of the grid sets, and he's got no setup. But at least in this game, setups default ones are working somewhat better. The time is going. as we've got less than 10 seconds to the start of the race. It's actually about to go now. No formation lap, no safety cars. 9 laps of racing. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out and away we go again here in Silverstone. And I can see Diogo Moraes gets a pretty decent start on the front of the grid, still ahead of King. He's still ahead of Karl Pulkkinen. We've got 9 laps of racing. We've got German trying to make a move on the third place on Kala, and he's well ahead of him in the third place. That's a cleaner start comparing to what we have seen back in the first initial start. We have to somehow work it out. Hassan actually spinning round, same as Adrian Welland. Dramatic start for the Hasses. An abysmal one, I'll be honest. Aurélien Le Penroux will have to suffer with no setup, and it's not on my end. He's having a touch with an Alpine, and that creates him losing a lot of places. There's a free wide near into Cops. Behind him, fighting for P11. When there's a spin as well of Federico Olano. Guillaume Darunia is promoted into P15 after all of this mess. He's got his car fixed on time just to race again here in Silverstone, because apart from the roleplay element, this was just a pure glitch, so I have decided to bring him back in. Liam Cross fights Ludwig Stahlberg on the lead. Meanwhile, Diogo, Raye and Jeroen are all racing on the top 3. As Diogo puts in a fast stop of this race, Le Penroux is back on the session. He's probably going to finish to rejoin behind Guillaume Darunia, who's recovering places now himself. Let's maybe see the tires. Drivers have put in for the sprint. Only 3 soft runners. As Diogo nearly gets a spin, this might open up a chance for Ray King. Sander is on softs, Liam is on softs, Ludwig is on softs, rest is on medium tires. Federico Olano still managed to get a 3-second tap. Ray King takes the lead of this British Grand Prix, and we'll see if Diogo can fight back. He's probably missed the breaking point. He's now behind the McLaren driver, aiming for his first win in Ero. As there's Jeroen right behind Diogo Moraes. He's chasing down the Williams. He cannot make a move into Cops. He can't think of it on the next corners. There's another spin in the midfield. That's probably Mats de Hart recovering himself on track, or Jacob Taka. As the lap 2 is ending now, we're currently on the straight into Stowe. The Hangul straight. Diogo Moraes is using his ERS. Now he's trying to make a move on Ray King. Can he make it? He's side by side with the McLaren driver. Can he take the lead of the British Grand Prix back after such a great run at the late of the race? No, he's in second place. Still, he was very close to make a move, but he will not. How about Jeroen? He now make a move on. He can't now make a move on Diogo Moraes. He's side by side into Wabi and backs out of it. Thankfully no collision, but Diogo's gone wide. There is now a chance for Kalle Pulkkinen to make a move for the final podium spot. Le Penroux again back into the session. I don't know what's happening with him. However, Chibukem is making a move on 5th place on Josh Evans, who's now side by side with Chibukem. Both drivers are having the RS open, and now they are Can any of them make a move for the 4th place? No, Chibukem probably stay on the 5th. He's got the inside line. Now Josh gets the inside line. Sander van Bracken follows them for P7. As there was a little bit of a switch between these two. Le Penroux is out of this British Grand Prix. Unfortunate for him, and we'll definitely speak about the crossplay quality after the race. We had to make it going for the final couple of laps. We cannot just let you go without entertainment, I'll be honest. As they are side by side still, Josh and Chibukem. And this time Chibukem definitely takes the 5th place. Sander van Brakel is now looking for a move as well for P6. He's got the soft tires. He may use them to fight for better places. Chibukem's already out of the yards. You're dying a free wide. Just don't, because it ended up like this. Josh and Chibukem are spun round. Josh with probably wing damage. He's now not going to the pit lane. He's decided to go into the pit lane, and that's it for his British Grand Prix. Well, as I said, we'll speak about the crossplay quality after the race. This is what I can do. Ludwig Stabek spun around as well. There will be plenty of spins in the season, in the session. Diogo is now having the RS on Viking, who's leading the race. As Guillaume Darwin now loses 2 places to... No, he's losing another place this time on Mazda Hard, as Viking keeps on the lead of Diogo Moraes. How about Good? Can he fight for points in this evening here in Silverstone? Actually, afternoon, he spins round and there's the disaster of Mercedes, and Good also resets to track. Just not to lose so many places, but also get 10 seconds. As Ryo with Diogo still fighting position number 1 in this British Grand Prix. He's going to make a move down the inside into Stowe. Yes, he confirms himself as a leader of this British Grand Prix. A 10th ahead of Rye. He's now ahead. And will now chase that actually clean air, because he needs to get away with this DRS as soon as possible. How it's going on the battle for P4 is P5 apparently, because Liam Cross has already lost 2 seconds to his teammate Pulkinen. As Good is already retiring from the session, probably. Yes, it is a retirement, so even though he's got a chance for recovery drive, he's spun around and that's about it. As we've got King still behind Diogo. Let's see how is his usage of telemet of ERS. He's still having plenty of it. He knows there's just 9 laps, but he could have used a bit of it. I mean, he's got plenty, but also Diogo has near all of it. Same applies to Jeroen, Kalle and Liam. As Diogo nearly goes wide in Cops. How about Reyes? He's staying on the safe place. Into P2. We're now entering the Hangar Straight yet again for the 5th time in this sprint, which is meant to make it complete. Who's getting 25 points? If it keeps going, we'll not do crossplay in the next sessions, especially with Luke Jobson or Cameron Dunn commentating. We tried it, but it didn't work. We wanted to finish the race, so there it is. As Diogo Moraes puts on the fast lap of the race, and this battle between these two continues for the win in British Grand Prix. Also reminding you that there will be no parents conference this today, because, well, we have to talk about the crossplay quality, and that we will not be using it. We tried it. I said it. I said that we tried it. As we've got yellow flags somewhere in sector 1 it is. However, I don't see any position changes. Sander van Brakel is now dropped into ninth, so his tires might start dying off. He's got that pace in the first laps, but he's now dropping the pace. Now, you know what? This is a very huge chance for example, Leon Baumgarten to bring in a couple of points for McLaren in this race for this Constructors' Championship, which will be very important for Reyes as well. We're entering lap 7. No overtakes happened on the front, so maybe we'll watch the midfield and the fight for the P6. Diogo Kumar can't keep up with Liam Cross because he needs to control the fact that Leon is right behind him still. Diogo Moraes still on P1, but we need to watch out for Reyes King, who's currently in position number 2. He's still looking for that final move in this race. He's probably waiting for the last lap. He's using a bit of that ERS to keep up with Diogo. as we've got Kalle Pulkin and Liam Cross separated already by 4.7 seconds. You can see how this gap is getting bigger and bigger between the Ferrari teammates. As Reyes King is still half a second behind the Williams. I mean, this start of the season has just gone wide open. With all of the sprint race we tried, as Reyes King is getting closer to Diogo Moraes, but Diogo's got plenty of yards. He's got like 80%. He can play with it a lot, and he doesn't need to worry about wearing it out, deploying it apparently. The top 4 is probably going to finish as it is. It isn't definite, but it might happen. As Sander van Brakel continues to fight for the 8th place with Mats Terhat. He's already losing 4 seconds. The Alpines got pretty decent, pretty great getaway on the start of the sprint. Now they are side by side into Abbey. No, Mats has backed out of it. Steinawitz is watching this fight between these two, waiting probably for a chance to appear. As we've got a couple of wheel bumps around here between these three. Can now Sander defend from Mats Terhat? He's probably going to do it. The yellow flags in the lap 1 are caused by Ludwig Stahlberg, who's now... Oh, there was a try for a move. Mats has tried to move on Sander, but meanwhile his teammate is dropped into last place. How about Diogo? He's still in the race, but McLaren of Reyes King will try to make a move now. He's hitting loads of ERS. He's probably not close enough to make a move. He's going for it on the inside of Stowe, but I think it's very risky, and it was thankfully without a collision. As he's now setting up the fast lap of this race. This will be the lap that will count into the standings if sprint race is called valid. As he's now on the final lap of this British Grand Prix. Well, not on the final lap of this British Grand Prix. Steinawitz makes a move on Sander van Brakel in the midfield. Gero and Visser also thought of a move on the Reyes King, who's using all of his ERS in order to maybe catch Diogo Moraes a little bit. He's not using it now. We'll see if he makes a move onto Stowe, because in this Brooklands corner, he's definitely not going to do it. Chibukem and Liam are now swapping places, actually not swapping places. Chibukem has just clearly overtaken the Ferrari driver. The fight for P8 is also live. There's contact between these two. However, Stein keeps it clean and ahead of Sander van Brakel. As Reyes King, for the final time in this race, has a chance to attack Diogo Moraes. And will he make a move around the outside? Sander van Brakel gets 3-second time penalty, which places him currently in 10th. But for this moment, no moves are going to happen. How about Jerome? Will he try a last-minute dive? No, he will not. And this causes one thing. This means Diogo Moraes picks up a first win of the season, wins the British Grand Prix, also stealing the fastest lap from Reyes King. Liam Cross and Leon Baumgarten are still fighting for position number 6. They are side by side into this final corner. However, Liams was just ahead of the German driver. Stein, Mats and Sander will round up the top 10. Adrian Welland finishes 11th. Then we've got Jacob Tucker, Federico Lano, Hassan Aksha will finish P14, and Ludwig Stahlberg on the last place. And I mean, no press conference today, because we need to speak about the crossplay quality. I mean, apart from the drivers with DNF or Arce, everyone's happy because they got points. So I need to quickly go through this race's standings. We are not doing the full race. However, this is how it looks like with points. Result sprint. these drivers who are in top 10 are getting full points as of now. 3 DNFs in the sprint, 2 more during the regular race. However, this was apparently an entertaining sprint, apart from the fact it's called by a farce. I mean, I can understand games may not be perfect, but this game doesn't have anything good. Even the liveries aren't right, because the Red Bull is brighter than it's supposed to be, or the other way around. As you can see, that's it for today. Even though we're having a full race, I'm just going through these race standings yet again. Maybe I just go through the race director, which I can't go through. So congratulations, Codemasters. Thank you for destroying our game, your game apparently. Thank you for destroying our chances to have a decent races. I mean, I'm leaving the session, and we'll definitely be talking about the crossplay quality. There might be briefing on talking, where I'll say what I think about it. Is there any race director for sprint? What? Can you see that? And there's no incidents for this. I mean, what is that? I wanted to make... You can see how glitched this game is. We're lucky that we finished and completed this race. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for the patience. I'm definitely doing a complaint on forum, because that is abysmal. That is terrible. That is awful. That is whatever kind of bad stuff bad words you want to say, they will be right. How can you release crossplay without at least making sure it works somehow? Make sure that the delta during the safety car works. Make sure that the formation lap works. Make sure that we can easily mod the game however we want. Because there was a guy on EA, not on EA forums, but on Race Department, who's actually showing you can swap the order of races in career mode. He's actually done that, and it works. So Codemasters, EA, just take the moders from Race Department and actually get it decent. Actually fix your game or start from scratch, whatever. Because especially with crossplay, it's unplayable. It's absolutely unplayable. And I'm not going to speak anything else. This season, I want to have it crossplay on, but if this keeps going, we will not. Maybe a PC needs to host, but it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter when you are a multi-billion-dollar company. And I have to close this game because I cannot quit it the normal way now, which is horrendous. Which is not what we wanted to see in League Racing. There was a league called Liga Park Ferme. They also tried turning on crossplay. It was during the beta stage, and their crossplay also got messed up when they tried broadcasting PlayStation race with a PC guy being a streamer. So it isn't a one-time issue, it's a regular one. And you definitely in the Codemasters need to think about fixing it. We're lucky that we finished this race. We'll see if we'll count only the regular one until the safety car has glitched out, or we'll count sprint with full results as well. We'll see. We'll talk with the drivers and stewards and administrators. And next week, thankfully there's Luke Jobson commentating. I hope Cameron Don, if he's listening to this, he may be ready for commentating in the next weeks. Because if this goes in, I'm not commentating. I wanted to go to PC to make all these mods, to make better streams, to make a better everything. And this is what we've got. I tried my best. This is all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and next week we'll see. Maybe in PS F1, maybe in PS F1, maybe I'll just not commentate. Thank you very much. Wojciech Śmigowski here.